Hello there, everybody. We switched over just right as you were scratching your beard, Doug.
It's important people know that my beard itches too. I'm just like you, all of you,
Wow.
with or without beards. It still itches, man. So, just know that and maybe we can move on with our lives. I mean, I know the ones with beards can't. We're going to be too busy itching, but everyone else, just think about those who
Yeah,
have
yeah.
beards in this sick sad world we live in.
He's just like us, for real, you know? All right, everyone. Hello. Welcome to Chatting with this guy right here, Mr. Doug Walker. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I see over on Twitch. Are we like at almost level 5 hype train? I just got
I
the
think
hype.
so. Yeah, I just
Yeah.
saw it too. Yeah, I saw 4. I don't know. That means you're getting there.
Excuse
Level
me.
4 complete.
Level
Okay.
4 is complete. Heck yeah,
Thank you all
let's
so much.
go. And YouTube, I see we've got the super chats coming on in. So let's get to the rules so we can start getting to your questions. First and foremost, we give priority to bit messages and super chats since that is some real world money spent. However, that doesn't mean we're going to completely ignore the regular chat the whole time. If there's time at the end of streams, sometimes we'll go back and take a look at highlighted questions on chat or just in Twitch, or just other questions that are in the YouTube chat. But we're going to give priority first to the bit messages and the super chats. With the super chats, we give priority to reading messages that are $5 and over, just because we have a deluge, just a whole bunch of questions that come in.
That's the word of the day.
We have so many questions coming in that we're just trying to find a way to filter it out. And if there's time at the end, we can go back and answer some of those other super chats. But we're going to prioritize for the time being things that are $5 or over on super chats. Please do not repeat yourself over and over again in chat. You can get timed out or even banned if you're going to continuously do it. That kind of applies to things like super chats and bit messages, but not really. Just understand that we have a list. It's very, very rare that we miss a super chat or a bit message. It's on the list. We will get to it. Just have some patience. Sometimes we can get up to an hour behind, and I know it feels like forever, but we have a list.
I was frozen
very rare
today
that those things actually get missed. That does include the super chats as well. I know most of the time, sometimes people think once your message has been unpinned that we're not going to be taking a look at it, but I do have a list that is outside of just the pinned super chats, so just have some patience and we will get to it. My list does include the super chats as well. Okay, cool. Watch the length of your questions. The longer it is, the faster I have to read it, the more likely it is that we don't have time to repeat it and we're just going to lose the point. That applies to part messages as well. If you absolutely have to put your message into multiple parts, please restrict yourself to like 2 or 3 at the maximum. Same kind of thing. Again, we lose the point, and it's not really helpful to us. Along those same lines, please restrict it to 1 question per super chat or bit message. It just doesn't feel fair if other people are respecting that and then you come in and say, hi, I have 4 questions. Then we're just gonna have to either choose 1, and if that happens, that's just what's gonna happen. You can't throw a fit, okay? I'm either just gonna choose 1 or we're gonna super speed round the answers to your questions, okay? No spoilers, please. I still am like 2 weeks behind X-Men 97. I swear to God, chat, don't do it.
Oh my god, it's so good.
Don't
it's so
spoil
good.
that for me, please. Please, please, please. I'm begging you. No spoilers, chat. Okay? Please. I think that's it. I feel like I've missed something, but I think that's it.
I think we're good.
Yeah, I think we're good. All right, let's start getting to some of these questions here. That Disney Nerd, thank you for the 500 bits. Good evening, little Heather and Dougie. How are you guys doing?
Thank you. I get oh, like Ducky. I got it. Very good. Yes, and that was also very good.
Alexander, thank you for the 500 bits. Just finished the first season of Fargo with Billy Bob Thornton and greatly enjoyed it. Have you watched it? And if so, what are your thoughts?
No, I saw one scene that Rob showed me, and that's I guess it's where Billy Bob goes into this place, and it's this long shot outside the building. If you've seen, you know what I'm talking about, and that was great. I haven't seen anything else of it though, and I do hear it's good. I just kind of forgot about it. I forgot it was even a thing. So yeah, I should probably check it out.
Waveflow, thank you for the 56-month subscription over on
Thank
Twitch.
you.
Super appreciate that. Thank you. Remember, watch yo profanity.
Yes,
Thank
that's.
you.
I'm always so thankful when you tell me that because I do forget.
JL, thank you for the 1,000 bits. Appreciate it.
Ooh.
Which Drake Bell album do you like?
Um, Let me, because again, I especially recently my whatchamacallit,
Brain
mind
fog?
gets out of control.
Mhm.
Yeah. Drake Bell album.
Yeah,
I'm looking.
he's
I'm
a
like,
singer as well.
okay, that's why I was checking. I'm like, I thought he was an actor, and it's just like, oh yeah, I didn't know he was also an artist, or a musician. I don't know if I've heard his stuff. Let me put it this way: if I have, I was not aware it was him. If
Mm.
that makes sense. So,
Mhm.
yeah, I can't answer it.
Alexander, thank you for the 500 bits. Top 3 Brendan Fraser performances outside of Doom Patrol and The Whale.
I was chosen today.
I see. I really like him in Blast from the Past. I think he's super charming in that. Actually, I think he's pretty good as George in George of the Jungle, too. Trying to think. Oh, School Ties. He's very, very good in that.
Alexander, thank you for the 500 bits. What are your thoughts on the film Kingpin? Milking the bull is one of my favorite gross out jokes in any Farrelly Brothers movie. Farley, that's what I think they're
yeah.
trying to say.
I was chosen today.
I forget if it's Farley or Fairley. I've heard it both. I forget
Okay.
what it is. The line about what's he been doing with his time ever since he was stepped away from bowling. It's still one of my favorite deliveries of all time. He's like, "What have you been doing since you stepped away from bowling?" He's in this interview. He says, "Oh, drinking and just drinking and a little drinking and just pretty much drinking." And the guy's like, "And are you still drinking?" He's like, "Oh, why are you buying?" That is like one of the funniest things ever filmed.
That's
That
funny.
is amazing. And the movie itself is very, very funny. But that line, that was like a new level of brilliant.
At Movies, thank you for the 500 bits. Hi, Doug. Been a fan since 2011. Just wanted to let you know I graduated from college in 1 week.
Congrats, man.
Yeah, let's go at Movies. Alex,
Make sure you actually graduate, because that actually did happen to me. I thought I graduated. I'm like, should I get like a diploma or something? And it turns out I had like 2 more classes to take. So I was just like, oh no. So yeah, be sure to check it.
yeah. Alexander, thank you for the 500 bits. What are your thoughts on the film? Oh, I thought I just read that one. Kingpin, right? You just answered that.
Yeah, just answer that.
Great,
Yeah.
okay.
Good.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. In Amphibia, who was your favorite of the 4 main characters? Anne, Sprig, Polly, or Hop Pop?
I kind of like Hop Pop. I like that voice actor. I think he's really cool, and he has a lot of depth to what should be very, very simple characters.
Dev the Wiser, thank you for the 500 bits. What are your thoughts on Peter Jackson's King Kong remake?
I did an old versus new on him, actually, so you can check that out. But a lot of it, about half of it I really liked, and the other half I thought was really dumb. It's Beetlejuice the musical for me. that Broadway show. I'm like, man, half of this is really great. The other half is just really stupid. So yeah,
I was
guess it's a
chosen
perfect
today.
half for me.
Jace, thank you for the $10 super chat. Saw yesterday's community post. I think the live action Little Mermaid review said it best. Malcolm, oh, and one more thing. Somewhere down the line, we're going to make it blue. The internet. Now!
Yeah, I like that. But I wonder how many people, like with new fans, but for anyone that doesn't know, we put like a blue tie up there and said, was it something like, what'd be more offensive if this color changed or if the wall color changed? Something like that, because years ago, we moved to different locations and we had a different wall color. People just lost their minds over it. So we always kind of harken back and make jokes about it and stuff like that. So yeah, it's what do you think they think of this one? How they must be freaking out right now, because it's literally red and there's pictures. It's like the exact opposite of all the other walls I've had.
Tiff Guy, thank you for the 500 bits. What was the first movie you ever saw as a child, and is it YouTube appropriate for a Nostalgia Critic style review?
I'm trying to think. I was trying to think back with because I was talking with Rob about it. I was like, yeah, well, what are some like he remembers some more than I do. I do kind of remember seeing Pinocchio on the big screen. Great Mouse Detective was one of them. Um, I do remember seeing some of the Care Bear movies on the big screen. I don't know if those were like the first, but they were definitely some of the early. They're the earliest I can remember.
At Movies, thank you for the 500 bits. Is the 500 bit minimum a permanent addition? It's fine if it is. Keep up the good work, guys. I mean, for now, I would hope there might be a day where we could lower it a little bit, but for right now, even last week, we barely got through all the questions as is.
For the moment, we gotta keep it like this.
Jimmy, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hello again, beautiful people. Have you ever read or played I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream?
Boy, why is that?
That sounds so familiar, right?
No mouth and I must. I thought it was a video for some reason. A short story.
So familiar. I may have read the short story.
Oh, there is a game. Whoa.
That was a great Doug reaction.
Man, just
whoa.
Ooh, this is grim. No, but I wanna. This looks messed up. Okay, I gotta remember this. Okay, I'm gonna remember that.
Jace, thank you for the $5 super chat. Has been Hotel Theory. Despite checking off everything on Adam's list, Angel Dust can never get into heaven unless he gets out of Valentino's soul contract.
Maybe. I mean, that's a nice thing about it. There's so many different directions and avenues you can go with it. So yeah, maybe that'll be one of them.
Jacob, thank you for the $10 super chat. Loved the review, Doug. While Bluth is a director I appreciate more than I like, I think American Tail is good but overrated. You helped me recognize the importance of his work a lot.
Yeah, well, and again, if you ever read his autobiography, it is very interesting, and he does explain why he left Disney, what he was looking to accomplish and stuff like that. And yeah, like he was, I mean, a few other studios were too, but he especially was filling that void that was kind of missing from Disney for a while. And yeah, I don't know, I really appreciate it. The movies were big hits and are still being talked about. So yeah, I think a lot of other people appreciate it.
Oi Ram, thank you for the 500 bits. Glad you respectively and briefly went through the Judith Barcy thing in the review. Certainly did not need another Mako situation.
Yeah, it was one of those things where I'm like, do I bring this up? And I'm like, if so, how do I do it? And I knew if I didn't, the comments would be filled with them, and it's just such a bummer. But at the same time, it feels weird to ignore it too. So that was like the best workaround I could think of. Like, yeah, let's just focus on the performance, focus on how joyful she was and stuff like that, and how much of that translated to the screen and with her voice.
Jace, thank you for the $10 super chat. Follow up last week, The Holiday is an A-lister gem. It's a great rom-com that coincidentally happens during Christmas without all the Hallmark cheese. After you review 2007 Holiday in Handcuffs. Or after all, you did review the 2007.
It's just called The Holiday?
The Holiday.
Oh, that's the Jude Law one, right? Yeah, that's right. I'll definitely watch it. I don't know if I'll review it for NC. I don't know. Unless it's like so crazy bad, but yeah, I don't know how many people would pick on it, but I do like Christmas rom-coms. Honestly, whether they're good or bad, I kind of love them. So I'll check that one out. It's good people in it.
Juliana, thank you for the $5 super chat. Love the review. Your "my mom is dead" joke made me laugh so hard I had to pause to recover. As a fellow motherless child, I love the vicious humor.
Yeah, I always say it's good. You know, don't shove that type of humor on someone else who might be going through something like that. You know, everyone in their own way, their own time and stuff like that. But both my brother and I, the way we get through difficult stuff, we have just a super dark sense of humor. That doesn't mean we ignore the pain we're going through or anything. But if anything, the dark humor very much says this is a part of life. You got to laugh at it. You got to accept, yep, this is it. Try to find something positive out of it, even if it's just so dark and so twisted. So yeah, it's the way we are. But it's definitely not something where it's like I wouldn't, if somebody else's mother like passed or something like that, I wouldn't make really many jokes. I wouldn't make any jokes unless I knew they were okay with it.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. In a series of unfortunate events, what did you think of Neil Patrick Harris as Count Olaf? Did you think he's a good villain?
Yeah.
I
it's
loved the Netflix show.
it was very good. I can't. Jim Carrey had more the look. He looked a little bit more of the age, and his face was a little bit more expressive. But Harris had a little bit more of the performance. I wish I could kind of smush the two together to get that perfect character in there. But they're both good in their own way.
You are progressively getting more blurry, and I don't
Am I?
know how we
Okay.
can fix that, but you're getting just like a little blurry and oh, that's better. Wow,
That?
we got Doug in HD now. Those
Okay.
eyes. No. Zircon, thank you for the 500 bits. Glad to see you're enjoying X-Men 97. I am shocked at how good it is. Here's hoping for it to show up in Disney-cember this year. On another note, you know what movie I'm surprised you haven't reviewed yet? Tommy Boy.
Yeah, I guess that was. Yeah, you don't want to know what I think of Tommy Boy. I like Chris Farley. I don't really get into Chris Farley movies. Like my favorites, maybe like was that Beverly Hills Ninja? Maybe like that was okay, but yeah, I like I said, I respect the hell out of him on SNL, but I just did not get into his films at all. And with X-Men '97, yeah, I am blown away by how good it just good writing too. Like the lines in this the episode that just dropped. I mean, they're not just good; they're chilling. Like I don't know. I would watch X-Men all the time and really get invested, but I mean, I can't remember last time I was like chilled to the bone watching it. So yeah, I am very, very impressed. But it's still the cartoon is still kind of soap opera-y and comic booky and stuff like that. So yeah, I am very, very impressed with how they've been doing it. And yes, there will be a Disney-cember on it.
I was
At movies,
frozen
thank you for the
today.
500 bits. A couple Disney-cember ideas if you still plan to do Miramax: Pulp Fiction, Clerks, Shakespeare in Love, Chicago, No Country for Old Men.
Those are all great choices, and I think I am. I was walking, I was trying to think about what would make the most sense. I think that's going to be the one to do. I'll probably do Miramax. And honestly, I think I said before when I was doing 20th Century Fox, I'm like, it looked weird if I did like, the Disney December with like Alien or something like that. And then the more I'm thinking about it, I'm like, oh, I don't know. The Disney December with Pulp Fiction does look pretty funny. So maybe I should just embrace it and have fun with it.
Jace, thank you for the $5 super chat. Going off from last week with Mara Wilson's acting, did you know she was the voice of the teacher Mrs. Mayberry in the first official Hell of a Boss episode?
Yeah. She I mean, I don't like to brag, but I feel like she didn't really get back into acting until she did the thing with us. Because at that point nobody even knew what she looked like. Like the last time people saw her was maybe I think the Thomas the Magic Railroad. So when she appeared there, people were like, "Wait, is that her? Is that actually her?" And we're just blown away. Like, holy fuck! Like she looks great. There she is. Oh my god! And it was great seeing her suddenly pop up in all sorts of things, and they felt like things she wanted to be in too. That's what I like about them as well. So yeah, no, she's very cool, very funny, very smart, very cynical in the best way. Yeah, just very, very cool person.
Noah, thank you for the $5 super chat. Doug, would you consider doing an NC for Oculus for Nostalgiaween? It's such an underrated gem.
It is very good. I don't know if I could add a ton to it. And I think because that director's really exploded recently, I don't know if I mean it's not a household movie, but I feel like that director is becoming, more and more like he's becoming close to a household name. So yeah, I feel like I don't know if I need to, but it is very good. I did a on this list of like underrated Halloween classics. I think I had that on there. So I do talk about it a little bit.
DJ Lol5, thank you for the 500 bits. Hey Doug, saw your video on Is YouTube Ruining Trailers, and I'm surprised you missed out on talking about the teasers to the horror movie Longlegs. If you want to watch them completely blind, go to Neon Movies YouTube channel and go to the video. Every year there is another. I'll let you do the rest.
Longlegs trailers. Okay, I do not know what this is. I will check it out.
Oi Ram, thank you for the 500 bits. Thoughts of reviewing Purple Rain, Under the Cherry Moon, and Graffiti Bridge? Either those or a Madonna movie.
The Purple Rain ain't happening. Prince, when he was alive, was very. I mean, he was kind of like Japan with the copyright claims. I mean, just anything, even at his face, he was just like, claim it! And I'm assuming his label is the same way. So, yeah, probably not that. There's stuff I'll look into. That's so specific. Just a Madonna movie. maybe if one just makes sense. At the top of my head, I can't think of one. But I don't know. League of Their Own might be fun. I think it'd be pretty cool to talk about that movie because I really like that one.
Dev the Wiser, thank you for the 500 bits. Have you seen Benny and June 1973? And if so, what are your thoughts?
I like Depp in it. That's about it. The rest didn't do much for me, but it was fun watching his physical performance and everything. But yeah, nothing else did much. It's just what you think it's going to be, and really nothing more.
JL, thank you for the 1,000 bits. Which Land Before Time is your favorite?
I've only seen the first one. I'll say this: when they first started advertising sequels, I remember the second one. I was impressed by how much the animation looked like the original. I was like, oh, that's like, it looks like they put effort into it. And then like maybe the third one, they still had a bit of that. I know with each one, not surprisingly, they got less and less. But I do remember that, at least about the second one, that it did not look like a rushed job. It looked like they actually took their time with it.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. While I like Mabel from Gravity Falls, a problem I have with her is that Dipper makes so many sacrifices for her, and very rarely does she do the same for him. What are your thoughts?
I hear that a lot. I don't know, maybe because it's weird because, I'm a sibling too. And sometimes we do that, or we would growing up, like we would hold something over the other. Well, I did this. Well, I'll do this if you do this. So it is definitely a sibling thing. But in terms of watching a show, I think as the characters are so likable, I wasn't really, counting or balancing it or anything like that. But I've heard that argument a lot, and that's gotten in the way of people's enjoyment. And it's like, fair, I guess. I mean, if that bothers you, it bothers you. It didn't really bother me.
At Movies, thank you for the 500 bits. Who was your favorite actor to appear in both Star Wars and Marvel?
I mean, I'm assuming they're talking about not like the same actor to appear in both, I'm assuming.
No, I think who is your favorite actor to appear in both Star Wars and Marvel? So I think they were both in the Marvel movies and in Star Wars movies.
Is that what they mean? Or I mean, because
so.
I don't know. Are there that many? I mean, maybe there are. I don't know. But I mean, I can just say my favorite in general, I guess. Like for Star Wars, probably a toss-up between James Earl Jones and no, it's James Earl Jones. I was gonna say maybe him and Ian McDiarmid, but it's James Earl Jones. And then Marvel, man, I mean, do I go with the cliche and say Robert Downey Jr.? He was pretty great. No, actually, I really I like Scarlett Johansson as Black Widow. I thought she brought a lot of charm to that character that didn't have, I think, a ton written on the page for her, but she brought a whole lot to it. And like I said, it kind of became my favorite Avenger to watch. I really like Thor too, but if I thought she brought a lot of charm to that character.
Jace, thank you for the $10 super
I
chat.
was frozen
Remember when John
today?
McClane's catchphrase in Die Hard was badly dubbed "Yippee-ki-yay, Mr. Falcon" for TV? Disney brought that joke to full circle in DuckTales Dewey's 11 when Donald says that exact line.
I remember that. That is very, very funny. And again, that's one of those obscure jokes where it's like, man, you must have just grown up in that. I was gonna say grew up in that time period, but I think that's on YouTube now. I think people put that on there and stuff like that. I'm sure it has a lot of hits. So maybe it's not super obscure, but it's not the most well-known thing. So yeah, then when you have a character named Falcon, it's like, well, obviously you have to do this joke.
Peter, thank you for the $5 super chat. If you didn't have to worry about censorship, copyright, or view count, what are some movies that you'd want to cover for the NC?
I really want to do a House of a Thousand Corpses. That's one. The Indiana Jones movies I love to do. I'm trying to think of other ones. I love to do. I'd have to watch it again to see if I get away with it. I don't think I could, but the movie Teeth is so bonkers. I kind of love it. I think that one, just the plot, you probably can't get away with in terms of reviewing it on YouTube, but it is very entertaining.
Jacob, thank you for the $10 super chat. I know you hate young Barry in The Flash for good reason, but trust me, I've worked at a movie theater for years and I've met several teenage boys who are even more annoying than him.
Yeah, you know what it is? It's the same way with like writing a villain or a bully or something like that. You can make them unlikable, but you have to make them interesting still. There has to be something that makes you say, I want to watch more of this character. I wasn't getting that with young Barry. So Young Barry sounds like a spinoff of Young Sheldon, but yeah, that was my big issue with him.
Juliana, thank you for the $5 super chat. You and Rob said you loved the movie Falling Down. Would you ever do an editorial or NC review?
Maybe. Hmm. Yeah, man, there's almost too much to talk about now with it, the more I think about it. But that could be all the more reason to talk about it. I'm not sure. Um, Possibly. I'll think about it.
Sorry, things went away from me for a second. There it is.
Oh, no.
Frank, thank you for the $5 super chat. A movie that I was surprised to really like was Abigail. Have you seen it? And if so, what are your thoughts?
No, I'll probably stream it. It looks like fun, but it's another one of those. It's like I think it's the same person who directed Ready or Not, which was also good, but it's exactly what I thought it would be, and it is one of those things where because there's so much content, so much material, and I do have to watch stuff for a living as well. I try to be a little bit more picky about what I watch, like in my off time, but my wife likes horror films and stuff like that. And that looks like a fun one, so it looks like a good time. I just will probably stream it.
Noah, thank you for the $5 super chat. Doug, how far are you into The Ghost and Molly McGee, and what are your thoughts? My take, it's sweet, charming, and great for people who like hug porn.
That probably is a thing. But yeah, I got one episode left. Actually, I was holding off watching it because I want to do like the Disney Sembrani like right after I'm done watching it. We have C2E2 this weekend, and I'm catching up on a whole bunch of stuff. So it'll probably be next week I'll be done with it. But yeah, no, honestly, what you said, just very, very charming, very funny, very likable show.
Allie, thank you for the $5 super chat. What's your favorite Bob's Burgers episode? Mine's the first episode of season 8.
Originally I would have said the one where they go to the I think greenhouse is where they went, something like that, or a museum or something like that, because I love the scene where Louise admits that she wants to take over the restaurant from Bob, and he's like, oh my God, am I your hero? Like, that is the most, like, it's so funny, but it's like so heart-tugging. I don't even know if it's intending to, but now since that Christmas episode ran, which was pretty great, it got my wife crying. Bob's Burgers made people cry. I think that's got to be it. Again, that felt very genuine without being too schmaltzy or forced.
Joel B, thank you for the 500 bits. Thoughts on A Streetcar Named Desire? Just watched it recently and I thought it was good. However, I still believe A Streetcar Named Marge is the stronger adaptation.
Well, it's the more creative one. Definitely takes a sideways look at it. No, I loved it. I will say this. I didn't... I guess I don't know how many people grow up with Streetcar Named Desire, but they usually see it in like film school or something like that. Eventually, like I don't know, in their 20s or something. And I didn't see it until like maybe 8 years ago, something like that. So I saw it kind of late. And anytime you go in to see a classic movie, you both have well, this better be good, but there's also this excitement of, well, and maybe it will live up to the hype, and that one did. Like, everything that everybody said about it, they were right. It was a very, very good film, and it made me want to look up more about the play, and the play is also very interesting too, because there's a lot of stuff they couldn't get in the movie. So yeah, it's a very, very good film.
Godzilla fan, thank you for the 300 bits. For Heather, Gundam story or Evangelion story? I mean, first of all, there's so many iterations of Gundam. Which one you talking? You know what I mean?
What's the first one?
The first one of Gundam is Mobile Suit Gundam.
Yeah, gotcha.
It's just Mobile Suit Gundam. I mean, I think in general, Evangelion also has multiple iterations. Talking the series, the movies, which movies? I think Evangelion's story I do tend to like a little bit more, but I mean, both of them kind of turned the mech genre on its head in completely different ways. So like, I might lean more towards Evangelion, but I'm more likely to rewatch Gundam any day of the week, for sure. Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. Which Netflix movie do you like more, Mitchell's versus the Machines or Nimona?
Man, I like the animation in Mitchell's a little more, but I think I like a lot of the storytelling in Nimona a bit more. Nimona's a little bit more original. Man, that's rough. I guess I remember Nimona a little bit more, so maybe I'll say that, but it's close. They're about on the same wavelength.
At movies, thank you for the 500 bits. NC for Curious George 2006.
I've never seen it, and I don't think I'm supposed to see it. It does look like something that's just meant for, like, pretty much toddlers. But I guess I made fun stuff for toddlers before, but something we all hated at the time, like Barney, you know what I mean? Or like Care Bears or something. And I don't know anyone that had thoughts about Curious George. So, probably not, but I don't know. We'll see. Maybe there's an audience there that would just like to see it again and be like, oh, let's see this 40-year-old talk about, a movie about a monkey for toddlers.
Ruben, thank you for the $5 super chat. What's a film that came at just the right time of life for you and meant a lot to you emotionally? For me, those was Only Yesterday and After Sun.
Man, that's a good question.
That's a great question, genuinely.
One that I didn't fully understand, and then I saw it again, I was like, whoa, was Eyes Wide Shut. That really got me asking a lot more questions about relationships and what it means to be in love and stuff like that. And then the movie Fearless, if you've never seen that, the Jeff Bridges movie, just got me at just the right time. I still say the ending of that movie, really, with just some abstract imagery and great music, and good acting, you really feel like you're in between life and death at that moment. Like, you really don't know what's gonna happen there, and it's so well done.
Spencer, thank you for the $10 super chat. Hey, Doug, I've been a fan for the past 8 years or so. Thanks for everything you do. Just figured I'd let you know that tomorrow is my birthday, so, do with that what you will.
Oh, happy early birthday to you. Yeah. Thank you so much for the kind words.
Noah, thank you for the $5 super chat. Doug, can we get a clue for next week's NC review, please?
What is it? Okay, it's also got a giant talking reptile in it.
Interesting. Okay. JL, thank you for the 1,000 bits. Ever watch Malcolm in the Middle?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I've seen every episode. I love that show. It's one of my all-time favorite shows. Yeah, absolutely love it.
Jacob, thank you for the $10 super chat. Have you ever seen a Big Bully with Rick Moranis or Tom Arnold? It was marketed as a kid's film, but is actually pretty twisted and disturbing. Its director is Steve Miner of Friday the 13th, Part 2 and 3.
I heard that. I think I saw the opening of it. I think just where Rick Moranis goes back to the school. I never saw it after that. And yeah, maybe I'll check it out.
Smash Ultra, thank you for the 59 NOK through Super Chat. What does Kim Possible, Jimmy Neutron, Johnny Test, Dib Membrane, and Professor Utonium have in common?
Boy, I don't know. I only know like 2 of those characters.
Their answer, the coolest fictional last names.
That's fair.
Juliana, thank you for the $5 super chat. Have you seen Holmes and Watson? I loved it. It's a DOA script movie with a cast that said, screw it, let's have fun, and they make it work.
Man, I've heard the exact opposite. I've had a lot of people ask me to review it because they just say it's like one of the worst things they've ever seen. But I will say this, there are some movies where I'm told that, and then when I watch it, I get that same mindset where they're just like, who cares? Let's just do whatever we want. And that can be very fun. That can be very funny. That actually makes me want to check it out much more than anyone just saying, oh, it's the worst and stuff like that. So I will attempt to at some point.
Godzilla fan, thank you for the 500 bits. One's got to go. Snow cones, ice cream, popsicles, soda.
Today.
Snow cones. I've never been a big snow cone guy.
Doug's like, easy.
Yeah. Honestly, before I even heard the rest, I'd be like, snow cones, I don't care. Shaved ice, on the other hand, is very, very good.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. How is the Ghost and Molly
I
movie
was
coming
frozen
along?
today.
Good. I got 1 episode left, and like I said, I'll probably watch it next week because I'm catching up on work this week, because I want to give my thoughts on like right after I'm done watching the last episode. So probably next week I'll be done with it.
I know, guys. Thank you for that 48-month subscription over on Twitch. Really appreciate that. Did you manage to check out the Bluey episode known as The Sign? Not gonna lie, the ending got me close to weeping.
You know, that's so funny, because I even saw I saw something on BBC, like this big report on it, like grown-ups are breaking down about this episode and stuff like that. And I just must be too cynical because both my wife and I watched it because we like that show,
Mhm.
and we were curious what's making people react to it, and we saw it, and we were like, "Oh, cop out!"
Right?
The one thing that made me kind of give it a pass is that they say, they're doing this story about the we'll see, going back to the old, classic story there, but then the line before they say, why do all the stories end in happy endings? And the teacher says, well, because life throws enough sad endings, so, we can give happy endings here. Maybe that's the idea. Like, Bluey has dealt with so many other kind of heavier things in kind of a delightful way, and sometimes, even a unpleasant way, that here it makes you look like it's going to go one direction, and then it doesn't. And it's like, hey, that was for the adults. Here's your happy ending kind of thing. It's not my thing, but at the same time, if you want a good lesson, there's a bajillion other Bluey episodes for that. So it is interesting that struck such a chord, mainly with adults. And I think that's the reason why. I think it was just like, let's just give him a happy ending.
At Movies, thank you for the 500 bits. NC compilation for the Unbreakable trilogy.
I thought about at least doing Glass. Because that'd be, I actually liked it enough, but there's a lot to talk about. Yeah, but maybe doing all three films might be interesting. Yeah, maybe. I'll think about that.
Eagle, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hey, Doug, you have made fun of Adam Sandler's movies before. I thought maybe you'd review some of his good movies, like 50 First Dates or Happy Gilmore.
I did a list, in fact, top 11 good Adam Sandler movies. I can tell you, I would put Leo high up there, too. I just saw that finally, and it was very, very good. It was stupidly charming. It was like amazingly charming. I can't believe how delighted I was by the movie. Like, even when a joke doesn't work, I'm like, yeah, it's okay. The next one will be good. It usually was. Yeah, I really loved it.
JL, thank you for the 1,000 bits. Are you surprised they still show Cosby Show reruns after everything that's happened?
Personally, no, because I think there are people that can separate, the person from the show. For me, it varies from thing to thing. There's a lot of people have done terrible things, but I can watch, something that was made. They're either good enough at writing or acting or whatever that I can separate and see for what the art is giving me and not the person. But with Cosby, because I always say the whole shtick was that he's a good human being. He's a wholesome guy. I can't separate it. But I'm sure other people can. There's an article called Cliff Huxtable, I think? Cliff Huxtable from Bill Cosby. And I know what they're talking about. Like, this is still such a good, decent character, and we want to keep this character alive. And I get that. But so much of that is tied to, like, his identity, or the persona, I should say, that he was giving off, that I can't separate it, but I get why others can.
Joel B, thank you for the 500 bits. Watch some 80s horror movies called Chopping Mall. Have you seen them? And if so, your thoughts?
No, I love that title, though.
That sounds like a Brad thing for sure.
Yeah, it does.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. Who is your least favorite Batman villain?
I mean, man, we're talking about in the movies. We're talking about, like, in general. I'm trying to think of one, like, whenever he popped up, I'm like, oh, man, this episode. I guess I never got into Croc. I never found him that interesting. Like, the close, even when they write him well, I don't get into it. Like, maybe the closest, this isn't even a good movie, is Suicide Squad. I just like that actor's voice. I like the way he kind of holds himself. I love it when he's like, I am beautiful. Like, I love that line. I love the way he says that. I can't think of any other good Croc line. That's from me.
Christopher, thank you for the $10 super chat. 2 questions. Has Doug seen any of the Bad Batch, the Clone Wars spinoff? How much has he seen? The answer is no, right? And anyone at CA know about Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur? It's the best show Disney is putting out right now, in my opinion.
I know what that is, and I want to see it. I wanted to see what the reaction was first before I devote time to it. And it sounds like it's good, because just the art style alone really kind of hooked me in. So I'm going to see if I can see it this year, because I don't know if it's only 2 seasons. If there's more seasons, I want to wait for it to wrap up. But yeah, I did want to check it out because I really like the art style a lot.
Jimmy, thank you for the $10 super chat. Any chance we could get an NC or Disney Semper review of Shelley Duvall's Mother Goose Rock and Rhyme? It's a relatively obscure TV movie, but it's absolutely worth hunting down and checking out.
Someone gave it to me at a convention.
Really?
And I did grow up with it. I was the exact right age to watch it. I was like
Amazing.
maybe 4 or something like that, and it's a
Beautiful.
trip. Maybe I will do a Disney. I know that'll be one that nobody will watch, but I'll just be like, this is just for me.
Chase, thank you for the $5 super chat. Now that I know you have a singing background, would you ever review Sister Act, Whoopi Goldberg, Raise Your Voice, Hilary Duff, or Whiplash, J.K. Simmons?
Wow, that's a lot of them. Again, I'd have to find something new I could say about. What I've been looking to do, I've been holding off because I just kind of want to understand it a little bit more, was Sister Act 2. Because I remember everyone just saying this is a bad movie. We thought it was a bad movie and stuff, but it got this huge following, I guess, for the music in it. And I'm really fascinated by that. It really makes me want to watch it again, kind of with that mindset and be like, okay, wait, yeah, why is this connecting with people now? Like, is the music really that good? I'm like so curious now. So yeah, I kind of want to see it again.
Case, thank you for the $5 super chat. Doug, have you seen the 1997 mystery crime creature feature, The Relic? If so, what are your thoughts? It's one of my favorite horror movies ever.
No, I remember the ads for it. You know, it was like, well, what is the monster? What's it going to look like and stuff? And even just the blurry lines, you could tell were CG. So I'm just like, oh, it's just going to be some CG thing. It doesn't look like it's there. So I just wrote it off. But yeah, I never heard about it, honestly, after that, until you brought it up again. So yeah, maybe I should check it out. Maybe it's an underrated relic.
Smash Ultra, thank you for the 25 NOK through super chat. Video game request, Red Dead Redemption 2.
That's the cowboy one, right?
Yes, correct.
I've heard really good things about it. But yeah, I've never played it. So maybe, is there a full story to it, or is it one of those you just go and find different missions? Okay.
I mean, it is open world, but there is a story to it.
Okay. Yeah, maybe at some point.
At Movies, thank you for the 500 bits. Are you at least morbidly curious about the Lion King prequel this year? What gives me slight hope is that it's directed by the guy who did Moonlight, so that might not be as completely soulless as his predecessor.
I didn't. Okay. Huh. I didn't know that. That's interesting. Though, here's the thing. Disney does have a talent for taking these, like, artistically pleasing, driven directors and just somehow making them turn it out just bad stuff somehow. So if anything, I'm a little bit more concerned about that. But I will say, because it's not really based on something that exists, you know, there's no real prequel about Mufasa and Scar. That could maybe have potential. I'm always hopeful. It'd be nice to have one of these that I like, but yeah, it's still current Disney. We'll have to see. It would be nice if he was the one that could break the mold, but I don't know. Disney's a powerful illusion.
That Disney nerd, thank you for the 500 bits. Which movie were you more surprised by how good it was? Curse of the Black Pearl or Kung Fu Panda?
Oh, Kung Fu Panda. Curse of the Black Pearl, I was looking at, like, okay, if this has a good sense of humor, maybe it could work. Because we're looking at Johnny Depp and we're like, was he supposed to be taken seriously or no? Because every time he popped up in the trailers, everyone would laugh and be like, oh my God, are they serious? Like, as soon as he would show up with the mascara and everything. But then when they saw the movie, they're like, oh, it's supposed to be funny. Okay, oh, that's okay. Kung Fu Panda, I mean, obviously it wants to be funny. I just didn't think it would be, and then I didn't think it would be so poignant and dramatic too. So yeah, it's that was probably the biggest surprise for me. That was also the first film I saw on a digital projection, and man, what a film to see in digital projection. That was the perfect film to see. Yeah.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. Do you have any plans to do an NC of Mars Needs Moms?
I have it on the list. It is awful. It is so awful. And I guess I have done a lot of the other motion capture movies, the Zemeckis ones, so might make sense.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. You will love your new Dora the Explorer doll. You will love her. Ah!
You're just going to do the whole Jurassic Park 3 script, huh? Okay.
Oliver, thank you for the $5 super chat. Sex, Marry, Kill MCU edition. Spider-Man, Thor, Captain America.
Wait, what is it again? It's Kill, Marry,
Sex, Marry, Kill.
Okay, I have sex with Spider-Man because he's got to be able to do some weird stuff. I would marry Thor because he's got a palace and everything. That'd be cool. And then I tried to kill Captain America, but you know, he'd just go back in time and let himself die. So it kind of takes care of itself.
Jace, thank you for the $5 super chat. With the OG Twilight Zone wrapping up, do you think Walter might look at the Forrest Whitaker first season from 2000 and the 2-season Jordan Peele 2019 reboot?
I don't know, because like what he's doing for Bat May, he's not doing one every day in May, but he's doing like kind of like these. Is it once a week? I think.
I
Yeah,
think
sort of
so.
these compilations.
Yeah.
Maybe he could do that for Twilight Tober Zone. I don't know, or maybe he could just find another thing. I don't know. He's put so much time and effort
He
into
has.
those that I'm kind of like, yeah, whatever he feels is, he feels like he wants to do and stuff like that. Yeah, that probably makes the most sense because yeah, he's put so much effort into it.
Random, thank you for the $5 super chat. Any chance of reviewing Fantastic Planet or more
I
Ralph
was
Bakshi
frozen
films?
today.
I've talked about what was the other Bakshi one? I love the movie American Pop. That's probably my favorite movie of his, and that would be kind of interesting to talk about. Wizards is kind of a trip too. I don't know if I can say much about Fantastic Planet. Like I did like it. It's good, but I don't know. It's one of those where it surprisingly didn't like grab me. It's not a film I go back and revisit a lot, but it is good. It's worth seeing. It's very experimental, which I like. But some experiments I think are gonna grab you more than others, and yeah, that one for whatever reason just didn't grab me too much.
Jace, thank you for the $10 super chat. You still in contact with Eric Rodriguez, the blockbuster buster? His last busted movie since his wife passed in 2022 was the live-action Mulan. Maybe a TMNT Mutant Mayhem crossover would cheer him up.
I haven't talked to him in years, man. I'm sorry.
Smash Ultra, thank you for the 59 NOK through super chat. Video game request, Red Dead Redemption 2.
I will look into it.
Jacob, thank you for the $10 super chat. Who do you dislike more, Nickelback or Imagine Dragons? For me, it's Imagine Dragons because at least Nickelback memes are hilarious, while Imagine Dragons is blander than wheat bread.
I like Imagine Dragons, but I will say this is something I'm realizing more and more. I think I'm the age to like it. I know it's like a newer band, but that's kind of okay, I'm watching Fallout right now, and I hate to say it, but I'm loving that music. It is so soothing.
Oh, no, I don't think you
it's
shouldn't
one of
hate
those
to
things
say
where I'm
that.
like, oh, I'm at that age now where it's like, yeah, this is the kind of music. I'm not going to listen to it all the time, but it's like, this is really nice. This is really pleasant. I'm like, yeah, okay, I guess that's part of that age. I think it's the same thing with Imagine Dragons. I feel like if I was a teen, I wouldn't like them. But because I'm over 40, I think they're fine.
At Movies, thank you for the 500 bits. Do you have any nitpicks about Brazil? And if so, what are they?
The action scenes aren't that interesting. And even Gilliam said, he's like, I don't know how to find different interesting ways of showing someone just punch someone else or shoot someone else. And, he's right. They're a little boring, but they don't last very long. It's not an action picture. But yeah, that's about the one thing.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. Who was your favorite Disney Renaissance villain? Ursula, Gaston, Jafar, or Scar?
Well, I mean, if we can't include Frollo in there, was it Ursula, Scar, Gaston? I don't know. I kind of like how naturally Gaston became evil. I mean, it was both a transformation and not a transformation at the same time. It was so organic and so natural that, like I said, you swear he's changing, but he's not really. And I just find that so interesting. So yeah, I guess I'll say him.
Anthony, thank you for the $5 super chat. The reason Optimus, aka Orion Pax, is dumb in Transformers 1 is because it's supposed to be before he becomes the wise leader.
Yeah, you can do that. Just make it funny. It just wasn't making me laugh. But again, maybe just the bad moments were in the trailer. We'll see.
Hugo the Cat, thank you for the 700 bits. Hey Doug, first off, I saw your new Nostalgia Critic video and I really enjoyed it. It may not be my fave movie, but I still liked it. Also hope you're feeling more better soon, man. Second, for the future Nostalgia Critic, will you do a top 11 Owl House episodes video? Please, I would love to see that. Maybe do it for its 5th anniversary in January. Maybe write that down if you want to think about it.
Whoo! Wow. Well done, Heather. Man, I'd have to really go through the episodes again. I guess there's not a ton compared to like Gravity Falls. Maybe that Gravity Falls one didn't do that great when I posted. I mean, now it has like 1 million views, but when it came out, it didn't do that hot. So I don't know. Maybe might be an idea.
Joel B, thank you for the 500 bits. Have you seen the 80s horror movie The Stuff, the movie with killer ice cream?
No, and I want to. where did I first hear about that? Maybe it was James's Monster Madness, I think, and I think I saw like the poster of it. That was it. Just the more and more footage I saw of it, I'm like, this looks bonkers. I gotta check this out. This looks like fun.
I feel like most of that stuff is either Brad or James's fault that you know about it.
Well, that one. So, like I said, it is one that was at the video store a lot and everything. It was kind of all over the place. I've always heard of the title, but yeah, that one, the footage I definitely saw from James. I'm like, what is this?
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. Are there any Batman the Animated Series episodes that you don't like?
Oh, sure. I didn't really like the I forget what it's called. Critters, I think is what it's called. The farm one. I don't know. That was just kind of lame. I think the one where you see Mr. Freeze is like a disembodied head with spider legs. I thought that was pretty dumb. The one where Joker tries to. I like the idea behind the one where Joker tries to go back and get revenge on the judges that didn't find him funny. Like there's some good ideas in there. It's just a little awkward. Yeah, there's a handful.
Bryson, thank you for the $10 super chat. What are your thoughts on The Return of the Living Dead, and would you ever do a review on it? It's a very influential film.
Terrible confession. I don't think I've seen that one. I saw, because that's the second one, I believe. I think the third one is where they're in the mall. And I like that. But I think I skipped the second, and I should probably check it out.
You're getting a little blurry again, Doug.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
What have you done?
What have I done?
Why are you like this? No, I'm just kidding.
Is that better or no?
That is better. You're in our face, but it is better.
Better? Okay.
Yeah. JL, thank you for the 500 bits. Mrs. Doubtfire is probably her best performance.
I'm
Mara, I'm
assuming you're talking about Mara.
Yeah.
For a second, I thought you meant, well, I mean, Mrs. Doubtfire isn't a real person, but yes, that was her best performance.
Joel B, thank you for the 500 bits. Stanley Kubrick or Alfred Hitchcock? I love both of them. However, I love Hitchcock's film on first viewings, where Kubrick takes me a few more sit-downs to find the brilliance in his films.
That's kind of why I like Kubrick a little bit more. I agree. I'm the same way. I like them both. But Kubrick's just a little bit more my oddness. And I like his visual style a little bit more. But they're both phenomenal.
King, thank you for the $10 super chat. Did you know that the anime that was going to be the third Voltron, Lightspeed Electroid Albagas, is getting a US release at the end of May? Thank you, Discotheque. You gonna check it out?
That's another one where I think I've seen like a little bit of the show growing up, but I just didn't see that much. Like if you show me him, I know what he looks like and everything. But I didn't see much Voltron. So if I did, I would have to go back and watch a whole bunch of like the shows and movies.
JL, thank you for the 1,000 bits. Did you see James Earl Jones on The Big Bang Theory?
If I did, I saw it like on YouTube, just a little clip or something like that. I can't remember if I did. I don't think I did.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. In a series of unfortunate events, I love Patrick Warburton as Lemony Snicket. I like seeing him in a kind of serious role, but still putting his usual enjoyment to the performance.
Well, what a unique idea to make him the narrator, because his voice is so distinct and his delivery is so odd. You wouldn't think it would necessarily work, but it does. It keeps your attention a lot more. And it's always kind of hard to read what emotion he has in that moment, which is kind of perfect for that story. He wants to keep you engaged, but he's very depressed. It's called Unfortunate Events. He's going to say it in an unfortunate way. And I think the building up, like, things are going well, but they're not going to later. It's the perfect voice for that. So, yeah, I thought that was very inspired casting.
Great Pretender, thank you for the 500 bits. I know the show has gone downhill in recent years, but what is your favorite Family Guy joke/bit? Personally, I always find their big musical numbers hilarious.
Man, I'm not saying this is the best one, because there are some jokes that are just legit really brilliant in that show. And there's a lot, clunkers too, but you can't say that with any series. But I love it's in one of the earliest episodes, just where all sorts of crazy stuff happens. And I think Peter at the end, he's in the hospital or something. Again, he does all this stupid, crazy stuff. And Lois just says, well, Peter, I hope you learned a valuable lesson. And Peter just goes, nope. And that's it. I love that. This was all pointless and everybody's terrible.
Jacob, thank you for the $10 super chat.
Today.
Did you see the Rebel Moon movies? I like Snyder, but both feel like AI made a hodgepodge remake of Snyder's favorite films in his style without any of his soul or ideas.
That's what I'm hearing. I'm not interested. I hear they're not even like fun bad. They're kind of like Jupiter Ascending, where except without Eddie Redmayne in it, and like everyone's kind of acting the same and talking the same. It's like world building where we just kind of talk about the world and a lot of exposition and technical talk.
I was
and
frozen
not,
today.
like you said, has none of the soul or character, like something like Star Trek does. So I'm not particularly interested.
AJ, thank you for the $2 super chat. Joel B, thank you for the 500 bits. Thoughts on the Simpsons episode Marge Be Not Proud? My personal favorite Simpsons episode. Sorry, that was just the end of the thought.
Be Not Proud. Let me see if I recognize that one. I do like this one. Well, it was nice too, because I think that's the first time we saw a different Christmas episode than their first episode. They kept playing the original Christmas episode every year over and over, and I think that's the first time they're like, let's just finally tell another one. And it's not a bad one. It is a good one. I think that's a legit good episode.
Mega Man, thank you for the 500 bits. Hey, Doug, I recently watched the Indiana Jones movies again, and I just gotta say, I always thought Temple of Doom was the goofiest out of the original three. Even the heart scene is pretty ridiculous. Do you agree with me?
I mean, I did a whole review saying I didn't like the movie, and I still don't, but I will give credit. It just goes all out for it. It is unapologetic about what it is, and when it wants to go mean, it goes mean, man. It goes harsh, which you could say, well, that doesn't clash with the rest of the goofiness of it. And the goofiness I don't think is funny and stuff, but I guess I have more respect for that than the later ones that came out, Crystal Skull and Dial of Destiny, because like I said, at least it went for it. At least it made an impression.
At Movies, thank you for the 500 bits. Earlier, I did mean appearing in both Star Wars and Marvel franchises, like how Samuel L. Jackson was both Mace Windu and Nick Fury.
Okay, well, Samuel L. Jackson then, because I can't think of which ones were in both, so I'll just say him.
It's Oscar Isaac for me. I love Oscar Isaac.
Oh, okay.
Doug, you're blurry again. Stop
What
getting
is going
blurry.
on here?
I don't know,
What
man.
is going
What
on?
you doing? You just keep getting
Chaplin.
blurrier.
Chaplin, what are you doing? You're my bad.
Chaplin, please save us. Oh, is he?
Oh, he's attacking me. Oh my god. Yeah, that was he was like trying to French me. What was up with that?
That was real distress.
Chaplin. That was not cool.
I thought that was fake
fix the
distress.
focus.
It did.
It was half and half.
Okay, great. Haunted Joker, thank you for the 500 bits. Just saw Jim Carrey in I Love Philip Morris, an unexpected role for him. Still not sure how I feel about the movie, but overall I liked it despite the comedy being front-loaded. What do you think?
Man, you nailed it. There's some scenes in there that are so good, and particularly from him, some scenes where he is just really, really good. But I don't know if the film works as a whole, on as a complete story and everything. But man, the moments that do, they're really, really good. So it's hard to say that's not a recommendation, because I'm like, well, it's kind of worth it to see like these 3 or 4 really good moments. But and the stuff that doesn't work in it isn't awful. It just doesn't work. So I guess that's kind of a recommendation.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. In Owl House, who was your favorite of the main 3 characters? Luce, Ida, or King?
Oh, Ida. I love Ida. She's really cool.
James, thank you for the $5 super chat. Will you do a review for The Lone Ranger 2013?
I did a Disney-cember on it. It's not very good. I don't know if I quite hated it as much as everyone else, but it's not good. It's pretty bad. And I don't know if I can get that much comedy out of it, because a lot of it's just very, very dull. So probably not.
Jace, thank you for the $5 super chat. This is part 1 of 3. I don't care if Christopher McDonald is considered a nice guy. I only see him as Kent Mansley. The following is how I would rewrite the Iron Giant ending.
Okay.
Jace, thank you for the $10 super chat. This is part 2 of 3. Dean or somebody points the general's gun at Mansley, who is on his knees begging for his life. The person would give a speech about the giant's death due to Mansley's prejudice, paranoia, and hate. Jace, thank you for the $10 super chat. This is part 3 of 3. The gun holder then says Mansley is a liar and a traitor who won't make this mistake again. Then Mansley dies the same way he first tried to kill the Iron Giant, unarmed and on his knees, shot in the back.
Man, you're really trying to work that PG rating for all it's worth, aren't you? Yeah, I think I would get that like at least a PG-13. I don't know how the Iron Giant would feel about that, seeing how he says he's not a gun. So yeah, I think that would probably go against the lesson a little bit.
Owner, thank you for the €5 super chat. Any plans to visit Amsterdam? Comic-Con MB, we heart you.
All right. I've never been to Amsterdam. I've heard some fun things about it. Yeah, if you ever want us out there, just tell the con, hey, we want, Doug Walker Channel. Also, we want him out here. And yeah, see if you can get us out there.
Cody, thank you for the $5 super chat. I'm having weight loss surgery in 2 months, and I plan to watch the Cinema Snob and the NC during my recovery. Thanks for your kindness.
Thank you so much. I think that makes sense because a lot of people that watch us do puke up a lot. So I think that makes sense. I hope it goes well.
Emeralds, thank you for the $10 super chat. Have you thought of hosting the Oscars or Golden Globes?
No, because I like comedy.
Sorry, I don't know why that got me, but that really hit, Doug. If that was a joke for me, you got me. Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. What do you think will play after Final? What do you think you will play after Final Fantasy? I would love to see you play Batman Arkham City.
We've been talking about what to play. Epic Mickey might make sense because has it come out already, or is it going to come out?
It's going to. It hasn't yet.
Yeah. So depending on when that comes out, because I've never played it before, and I think that'd be a good Disney December game. But again, yeah, there's the Arkham games. There's another, God of War 2 and stuff like that. There's another Final Fantasy 2. I mean, there's like so many things that we can play that the sky's the limit.
Fat Boy, thank you for the 14-month subscription over on Twitch. Really appreciate
Thank
that.
you.
Welcome back. Jace, thank you for the $10 super chat. Mind blower number 5. Tom Holland's tear-jerking cry, I don't want to go, in Infinity War was improvised. Gave me post-traumatic sad disorder, since that's what David Tennant's Doctor Who said before dying too.
Oh, okay. Well, spoilers. 2 spoilers. No, I didn't know that. That's very interesting.
Sean, thank you for the $5 super chat. Have you seen St. Elmo's Fire? If you haven't, you're not missing anything. It's a poor man's John Hughes movie.
I don't know if I have St. Elmo's. I know that title.
I haven't seen it.
I don't think I have. Boy, it looks like a poor man's John Hughes. Just looking at the poster. Oh, well, and it's directed by the poor man's John Hughes, Joel Schumacher. No. He's made some good movies. A lot of people in it, though. I don't know. I might check it out just to check it out, though, at some point.
Lewis, thank you for the £5 super chat. Hey, Doug, now that Doctor Who is on Disney Plus, will you review it for Disney December? I reckon it'd be your next Clone Wars. Come on, Heather, back me up.
Oh, man, there's just way too many. I believe people when they say it's very, very good. I've seen like 1 or 2 episodes, and I did like them. But yeah, it's just way too many.
Just start with Shootigatwa season. It'll be fine. We can watch it together.
Man, it's just way too many. I did see the I saw the Vincent Van Gogh one. That was very good. And then the Don't Blink one, which was great. So yeah, so I know the show can be very good. But yeah, I've seen what David Tennant in other stuff, and he's phenomenal. But yeah, it's just too much, man.
Jacob, thank you for the $10 super chat. What would you rank the Shrek movies out of 4 stars? I'd give the first 2 a perfect 4, and 3 and 4 a 2.5. Yes, I actually thought Shrek 3 was passable. You can quote me on that.
The first one, man, that's rough. For the impact, maybe I give the first one 3.5. Like I said, I'm kind of a Shrek naysayer on the first one. The second one, 4 stars easily. Third one, 2, and then fourth, maybe 2.5. Yeah, that sounds right.
Taylor, thank you for the $10 super chat. Hi, Doug. Wanted to ask, what's your favorite and least favorite Muppet movie or show, and why?
I still like the Great Muppet Caper, just for the laughs, and honestly, a lot of nostalgia. It is like that was a movie we watched a lot as kids. Least favorite? I never did see that Muppets in Space one because it's very hard to find a copy of it. I'm discovering because I keep wanting to do it for Disney December, and we're always like, we can't find it anywhere. We can't find a copy. But I'm assuming that's the worst one because I've heard bad things. I've heard really bad things.
JL, thank you for the 1,000 bits. Would you ever do Malcolm in the Middle for a Disney December review?
Um, it's one of those where I don't know if I could find anything that new to say about it. I mean, maybe one or two things, but I usually try to do ones in terms of Fox shows or movies and stuff like after Disney bought them. But I've made exceptions before. Yeah, I don't know if I could really bring up that much. Somebody did a really good Malcolm in the Middle retrospect. That was pretty much like my thoughts on it. And maybe while you read the next one, I can find it here, the title of it.
Tiff Guy, thank you for the 500 bits. This is becoming one of my favorite questions to ask a media critic. In your opinion, how do the worst movies of popular franchises compare to the objectively worst movies of all time?
So, I see what you mean. So, like, I don't know, the worst Marvel movie versus like Manos, The Hands of Fate, or something like
Yes,
that. Like,
yeah.
just object. I see what you're saying. Like I guess a lot of it depends on the franchise. Like even I think that's one of the reasons people didn't get like that upset at the Disney remakes, and they just see them and be like, yeah, okay, whatever and stuff, because they're not taking it that seriously. They're not really thinking too hard about the impact like the movies had. It just kind of has to look enough like it, because if you look at them on their own, they're just kind of bland. But you do have these movies to compare them to. Where just objectively bad movies. I think when they're done spectacularly bad, they usually are a little bit more entertaining because you don't have any other franchise or characters to compare them to. Like The Room's amazing just because it's The Room. Like you can't say, oh, it's a remake of something or whatever. It's just its own bizarre thing. So usually I like seeing something that's just objectively bad on its own if it's entertaining, more than something that's bad in a franchise. But there's some exceptions. And the name of the video is Malcolm Mill, Life is Unfair. Very easy to remember. But yeah, it's got a lot of views. It's very, very well put together. It's pretty much my thoughts on the whole show.
Jace, thank you for the $10 super chat. This is part 1 of 2. What moments in Hell of a Boss shocked or got you emotional? For me, both happened in last episode when Fizz correctly did sign language for a deaf kid. It melted my heart because my best friend at work is deaf.
That's a good moment. Trying to think. There was they had such a unique way in this. Don't even remember getting like super into this episode, but there was one where you see one of the main characters' fathers, and you find out, I think, how the mother died in this episode, and the way they show it is just something only a cartoon can do, and it's both really goofy and silly, but really sad at the same, really twisted. So I thought the way they showed that was pretty clever and could only happen like in this world and in animation. So I kind of give it even more points for that.
Dylan, thank you for the $5 super chat. Would it be funny if someone fan cast actor Doug Jones as a character named the Nostalgia Snob or the Cinema Critic? Which name is funnier to you?
Oh, that's good. I mean, Nostalgia Snob would make sense because then Doug Jones, there's the Doug is the nostalgia, and then Jones is the snob part. That's really funny. Man, if he's ever at a convention and me and Brad are there, I feel like we got to get a picture. I just never thought about that because he's been at a few conventions. I just never said hi, and now I'm like, wait, we got to do that.
Yeah, that's so
Jones
fun. Love that. Chase, thank you for the $10 super chat. This is part 2 of 2. Later, when Fizz opens up to Asmodeus on how useless he feels without Mammon's help all these years, he then reveals his broken horns, and I was shocked seeing that I almost dropped my phone. Yours? I think you kind of already gave yours.
Yeah, I get that. I will say most of the scenes with the prince, the little owl prince. I don't know. I really like that character. There's something. He's very funny, but he's also very vulnerable. I really like that character.
Sean, thank you for the $5 super chat. Have you seen The Great Train Robbery with Sean Connery and Donald Sutherland, written and directed by Michael Crichton?
No, and I want to, because if I remember correctly, my brother always said the guy who played Mike Fink from the old Davy Crockett show is on there, and I love that actor, and he's apparently in there, and I've just never seen him in anything else. I just want to see him in at least one other thing, and I hear that movie's really good.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. What do you think of the Aqua Teen Hunger Force movie?
I liked it. I mean, does did it need to exist? No, but that's kind of what makes it even funnier. I didn't see it on the big screen or anything, but I did rent it and found it pretty funny.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. In the Lego movie, what do you think of Liam Neeson as good cop and bad cop? I love seeing a usual, extremely serious actor playing such a silly role.
Well, that's why I'm so curious to see how he's going to do in this Naked Gun remake. Because when I heard the remake in the Naked Gun, I'm like, what? Why? But then when I heard Liam Neeson, I'm like, I can see how this would work. Because he'd do the Leslie Nielsen thing where he takes it really seriously, but he would do it like the Taken character. And I think that can be very, very funny. And I think that's a perfect example right there with Lego Movie.
Emerald, thank you for the $10 super chat. One has to go. South Park, Simpsons, Breaking Bad, Walking Dead.
I'll say Walking Dead, just because it got, it got less and less as it went going. Where I mean, Simpsons did too, but like the impact it had, it was just so huge on me. So yeah, I'll say that. But I mean, they all got some great stuff in it.
Taylor, thank you for the $20 super chat. Are there any media that you knew would be batshit from premise alone, but didn't anticipate just how insane the actual content could be? For me, it's going back to My Gym Partner's a Monkey and how weird that was.
Why do I know that title? Why do I know what that is? So he said that, I'm like, I don't even know when it came out or anything, but I recognize that title.
Today.
And it's gonna sound funny. Phantom Menace. I knew that movie was gonna be bad. I could tell by the stilted acting, and I remember for all the good things in the first Star Wars, there was this weird writing and this weird kind of stilted acting that the actors were working okay with, but you could tell they didn't have a ton of direction from the directors. So I had a feeling that wasn't gonna be good, but I did not know it would be quite that bad.
Joel B, thank you for the 500 bits. Thoughts on Gone with the Wind? Is it really something I need to watch? Are there 3 hours really worth sitting through?
A lot of people say it. Let me put it this way: if you're a film buff, yes, you should absolutely see it. If you're just someone that likes movies and gets into stories and stuff like that, I think it's going to vary. Some people really get into it. I never got that into it, but I like the the impact it had on cinema. It's interesting knowing like this was the highest grossing film for, I think still might be in terms of like how many people have seen it. You saw it in the theater. It might be the most seen movie. So all of that's very interesting, and it wasn't quite what I expected, which I like, but it's not something that necessarily like hooked me and grabbed me a great deal. But I know it does a lot of other people. So it's just gonna vary, I think. It's a hard one to. It's like Godfather. Like some people it really grabs, and others they find it really boring.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits, and I'm pretty sure they just hit enter too fast, and they rectified it later because it just says, "What Kevin Conroy so gray."
Well, I'll let you know in the second part of that message.
Mao Sauce, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hey Doug, have you ever played the game Red Dead Redemption 2? In my opinion, it's the greatest open world game and has one of the best protagonists.
Did like a revamped version of it just come out? Like what is with all the no, I haven't, but I have heard really, really good things. I know people that when the game came out, people were just like, yeah, I'll see you in a couple weeks. Like they were addicted to it for quite a bit of time. I might play it at some point.
Alexander, thank you for the 500 bits. Just started watching Doom Patrol. So far, it's fantastic, but I've heard somewhat mixed things about seasons 3 and 4. Does it ever jump the shark, or is it still pretty solid until the end? Pretty solid until the end. Watch the whole thing. Gosh darn it.
Yes. The one thing I will say is that you can tell stuff was happening behind the scenes in terms of like, now this is the villain, and now this character's here, and now this character's not here, and stuff like that. So there's a lot of that, but the show is so strange and unpredictable. They work with it pretty well. It doesn't hurt the show. But you can tell, like, stuff must have been going on behind the scenes where suddenly this character was here, and now they're not, or they're very quickly gotten rid of. But they always replace it with something as equally good. So yeah, very much highly recommended.
Sean, thank you for the $5 super chat. What happened to your commentaries? I can't find any of the ones on Cat in the Hat or Force Awakens.
I don't know. That might have gotten taken away with like when we had to go from like blip and stuff like that. Well, but Were we still on Blip when we did like Force Awakens and stuff? I don't know. I don't know. I'll look into it.
Taylor, thank you for the $20 super chat. What are your thoughts on the Ed, Ed, and Eddie finale big picture show? In my opinion, it's got to be the best finale to any cartoon of the last 20 years.
That's so cool to know. I'll let you know when I actually watch Ed, Ed, and Eddie. I didn't grow up with it. I hear it's good, though.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. Something that made Kevin Conroy so great was that he could take a simple line and make it badass. In Arkham Asylum, I love when he says, I can handle these low-life thugs.
Yeah, I don't know anyone who reads a Batman comic and doesn't think of his voice. I mean, everybody does. It is just the voice. I feel like it is so the voice that I feel like even before he voiced him, that was the voice everybody heard when reading the comic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he was that perfect.
Alexander, thank you for the 500 bits. What are your thoughts on Creature from the Black Lagoon?
You know, I've never seen it. I probably should. That's a classic monster movie. I never checked it out. I will try to check it out.
Joel B, thank you for the 500 bits. Have you seen The African Queen? My grandparents gave me the DVD to watch, and I'm wondering if it's anything worth watching.
Oh yeah, now I haven't seen it since I was pretty young, but I remember it being very, very good. Good performances too. I'm not he's fine, but I'm not the biggest Bogart guy. Like you get him in the right, he's kind of like John Wayne. You get him in the right role, he can do it great. But I don't think there's like a ton of range outside of that. But in that one, I thought he could be both the tough guy, but kind of like really vulnerable too. In that role,
today.
in a way that I haven't seen from him in other roles. So yeah, it's worth checking out. It's very, very good.
Anthony, thank you for the $10 super chat. Yo, Doug, remember that upcoming film, The Primevals, I mentioned a while ago? The one with the stop motion lizard men? Well, Charles Band has announced the streaming date, May 31st.
Oh, okay. I'll try to keep an eye out for it. Know what I'm saying?
Dapper Wookie, thank you for the £5 super chat. Hey, Doug and Heather, I'm sure you know of Oni Plays and their antics referencing you, Doug. Would you ever go on their show if given the opportunity?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Their stuff's very, very funny. And I say that acting like I've seen a ton of it, and I haven't, but I have seen a lot of the stuff with me. And I've seen some of the stuff without me in it too. And yeah, both I really have Rob and Malcolm to credit for that, because they would always just bring me the phone and be like, oh man, have you seen this? You gotta watch this. You gotta hear like their impression of you and stuff like that. It was always really, really funny. So yeah, no, that stuff is, and I'm really thankful too, because I feel like that kind of opened up us to like an even younger crowd, which is really, really nice. Because I feel like there's a lot of people that didn't really know who we are. A lot of people told me at cons they found out about me through Oni, and I'm very, very grateful for that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, no, very, very funny.
You're now the man, the myth, the meme, Doug
Yes.
Walker. Kirok, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hey, Doug. Hey, Heather. Good seeing you, Doug. I saw your reviews on some commercials, and what you, Tamara, Malcolm, and Jim did with Mentos is awesome.
Boy, I'm trying to remember it now. I remember doing something. Oh, that's right. Like, I think we like beat up a person or something like that, but we hold a Mentos and the guy's like, oh, that's okay. Yeah, I do remember that now.
Kirok, thank you for the $5 super chat. Doug, I'm curious, have you ever seen the Wishmasters films? Hate 3 and 4, but what do you think of the first two, if you saw them, that is?
I've only seen a little bit of the first one. It was pretty fun. Somebody recommended it, I think, on stream, and I'm just like, ooh, yeah, I should, because just the little bit I saw was so crazy that it looked like it'd be good NC material, so I might do that.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. What do you think of Hunter from Owl House? I honestly was very indifferent towards him from when he was introduced to when the show ended. My opinion on him never went above, he exists.
Hunter is the, is that the boy? Let me see.
This reminds me.
Hunter, Owl House. Come on. Yeah, I was kind of the same. I was a little excited for the character when he was first introduced, and he seemed menacing, but then he did this, okay, bye, like that. I was like, oh, this character might be fun. He's gonna be threatening, but he's gonna be silly. And they didn't really do that. They just kept sort of the wounded character with the torture backstory, which is fine. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just been done a lot, where I feel like a lot of the other stuff with the characters was kind of new, or at least the main characters. But he was fine. He was okay.
I almost hate to say it, Doug, but you're
Yeah.
blurry again.
Oh. Hold on. Sorry, I don't have Chaplin with me anymore, so I can get
No,
closer.
Chaplin, please. You have to fix this for us.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, I guess he fixed it last time by trying the French for whatever reason. It was weird. Is that better or no?
Yeah, it's a little bit better. Yeah.
A
Yeah.
little better.
Yeah.
Does less light help or more light?
I don't know. It's
Difference
not
or
making
no?
much of a difference.
Okay, all right. Just
Sean, thank you for the $5 super chat. Have you ever had barbecue chicken pizza? It's my favorite pizza topping.
yeah, it's good. It's not my favorite, but I like it.
JD, thank you for the £5 super chat. Hey, Doug, been a fan for years. I used to love video game confessions. Just sending support, and I hope you're in good health.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, the past week's been pretty good. I haven't really felt anything that I haven't felt anything that heavy since a week from Tuesday. But I'm finding out more and more when I do a convention, either during the convention or especially after the convention, it can kind of kick my ass. So I'm
I
hoping
was
it doesn't have to
frozen
receive
today.
issue.
Patrick, thank you for the $5 super chat. It seems you like Kung Fu Panda more than How to Train Your Dragon, since you haven't talked about the latter yet.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Kung Fu Panda was such a surprise and has such a unique way of combining its humor and its dramatic moments. Where the How to Train Your Dragon films, I think, was doing something that's been done before. They just did it so well, and there's maybe one or two new things. Where Kung Fu Panda, I thought there was bizarrely a lot more new things with that series.
Jace, thank you for the $10 super chat. Thumbnail idea for an Invisible Man / Hollow Man review. Invisible you sitting at the desk, full outfit, holding your arm up like you're flipping off. Please tell your brother not to screw up by changing it.
Harsh. So I don't always make the best ones either. With that said, a lot of people have asked me to do Hollow Man. I've never seen it, but I haven't gotten a lot of recommendations, so maybe it makes sense to do. It might be a good Nostalgia Ween one, actually.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. I'm looking forward to Transformers 1. I love stories where characters go from close friends to enemies. To
Well,
lovers? No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, come on. There's, drawings of that, of Optimus and Megatron. Megatron is Mega Dong. No, I don't. Yeah, no, I think that's a perfect trope for that series. I think they would have fun with it. Like I said, the only thing is the comedy. It's the only thing I'm like, I hope that's all the bad jokes in the trailer. You know what I mean? But yeah, because I want it to work. I think that's a fun idea. I like that it's fully animated and it looks like the show. So yeah, I'm down for it. I just hope it's funny.
Seth, thank you for the $5 super chat. Would you ever do a top 11 episodes of Parks and Rec? Would love to hear your thoughts.
Man, I haven't seen it in so long, but it is great. It's a great show. I still stand by that. Might be like the best cast we've had in like anything since like maybe Simpsons. Like every character, I want to see their reaction to what was going on. But man, favorite episodes? I don't know. That'd be tricky. I'd have to really go back and watch them again. I don't know if I have time to.
Malcolm, thank you for the $5 super chat. How much of Fallout have you seen?
Well, I'm on episode 4, I think. Yeah, I'm really liking it a great deal. I love that there's a lot of CG, but a lot of the effects are really there too. I can't believe people were upset that like, what, the armor, like, oh, the armor's actually there. Why don't they CG it? I'm like, shut up. It is so nice actually seeing something that's there that you can touch, and it's not like, that weird, soft, foggy thing that just looks kind of flat and not there with CG. Like, I'm so glad. And then when they do have CG, it also looks really convincing. Like, it just gives them more time to focus on making the CG look good. So yeah, I'm greatly enjoying it so far.
Mega Man, thank you for the 500 bits. Since you did Steven Seagal movie a couple of months ago, did you ever think about Jackie Chan? There's 3 big ones: City Hunter, the tuxedo, and the medallion. City Hunter is completely insane. It's based off anime. You might know it for the Street Fighter scene where Jackie Chan turns into Chun-Li. It's really weird.
I've had some people say the tuxedo would be fun to talk about because I guess it's not that good. Yeah, I guess I've never done a Jackie Chan movie. That I think around the world in 80 days, some people say is pretty bad. So maybe one of those.
Orc War, thank you for the $5 super chat. Any plans on playing the other Final Fantasy games? My suggestion is Final Fantasy VI or Chrono Trigger and Breath of Fire 1 and 2 are amazing.
I'm definitely going to have to finish up 7 after remake. It's not directly after, but at some point I'll play Rebirth is the next one, right?
Yes, Rebirth is the new one, and then there's a
yeah,
third one coming eventually at some point.
yeah, and then whenever the third one comes out. But yeah, no, because I'm digging it. I'm really I don't know. It's fun getting into this, kind of seeing what I missed with this and like Kingdom Hearts and stuff like that. Just this whole style.
I mean, 6 is my favorite, so I agree. But no, we'll see. Sean, thank you for the $10 super chat. Have you ever thought about showing Brad some Ghibli movies? He's only seen a handful, but not Spirited Away, Castle in the Sky, or Princess Mononoke. I think he'd like them.
Spirited Away, I think he'd really, really like. I think he would like the other ones. I don't know if he'd get too much into them, but I think he'd really dig Spirited Away for how bizarre it is.
JL, thank you for the 1,000 bits. Will you ever play Fortnite, Doug? Would love to play with you guys. We have. We've done it on this channel before. We've even opened it up to chat to do open lobbies.
Man, okay, I'm so good, because for a second I was like, am I just thinking of a different game? Because I thought we have. It's like, okay, good. I'm not backwards.
we have a couple of times, especially in the beginning of the pandemic in 2020. We played Fortnite a couple of times because we were.
I think everybody did.
Well, we were like, well, we only have to do this weird remote thing from home for a couple of weeks, so let's just get a free game that we can all play together.
A couple of weeks, years.
That Disney nerd, thank you for the 500 bits. Which emotional scene hits you in the feels the hardest? The dwarfs bawling over Snow White's death, or Poe's backstory in Kung Fu Panda 2?
The dwarves, because they really make it like a funeral wake. They have like the organ music going and the dark lighting with the little candles there and stuff like that. And I think there's a bunch of flowers there too. So I'm just like, oh man, they know what they're doing.
Alexander, thank you for the 500 bits. Now that you've seen Leo, what was your favorite joke? For me, it might be when the drone attempts to binge eat ice cream after getting its heart broken. It just smears. That was both hilarious and legit depressing.
That was very funny. I think the way they show the kindergartners was so funny. They're animated different than anything else in the movie. Their heads are just these round circles with their eyes like on the outside, like piranhas. I think they even have like sharp teeth, and they just go like these little like creatures that just like go to like a teacher and just crawl all over her and like sometimes like even eat her up and stuff. That was so funny, and they didn't need to explain it. Just everybody knows. Oh yeah, that's a kindergartner. That's what they're like.
Emerald, thank you for the $20 super chat. Unpopular opinion, Family Guy is the best animated show ever made. It's celebrating its 25th anniversary. Any disparagement of the show is an indication of neckbeard culture ruining pop media.
There's a lot I like, and I mean, I guess in a sense I shouldn't talk about because I haven't seen it in years, you know. I guess you could say the same thing about Simpsons. It's like, well, can you really say it's awful if you haven't seen it in years? I mean, yeah, but I stopped watching it because it wasn't good. But sometimes I've heard good things about recent Simpsons, and I don't know if I've heard recent things about Family Guy, but there's so many good jokes in there that I still remember and take inspiration from and stuff like that. So I don't know if I can say it's the best, but there's a lot of good things in it.
Frank, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hey, I've been a fan for a long time. Do you guys still keep in touch with Rachel? And if so, would you do another NC review with her? Tamara does, because Tamara and Rachel were friends before NC.
Yeah. I want nothing to do with her. No.
I love Rachel.
Yeah. How can anyone not love Rachel? I mean, she's just so upbeat, optimistic, has a ton of energy, super creative, good acting. I mean, just everything, just all that stuff. Yeah, but that's, like I said, Tamara's more the one that keeps in contact, and I don't know if it makes sense to bring her out for something else. Like it made sense to bring her out for like the the Nutcracker review and stuff like that. We're kind of talking about for a bit, again, a special Christmas episode and everything, and it was so great.
I was frozen
at some
today.
point I'm sure we will again, but yeah, there's no future plans as of now, but like I'm sure there will be at some point.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. Which Townsend Coleman character do you like more, the Tick or Michelangelo?
The Tick's pretty great. When I was a kid, I'd say Michelangelo because that was my favorite turtle. He was the party dude. But yeah, Tick's a lot funnier.
Wantizin, thank you for that 2-month membership over on YouTube. Appreciate it. Welcome back.
You.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. In Owl House, did it bother you that Luce spent the first 2 of the 3 final episodes separated from Ida and King?
No, I like that. I don't mind when a finale or a movie or something like that kind of plays around the formula a little bit. That's one of the reasons I really like Shrek 2. For half the movie, he's good looking. He's not on brand. He's not the ogre. And I thought that was a pretty ballsy move, honestly. And it worked. It's still the same character. You can still point and say that's the same guy. And I like movies and shows that do that. They separate characters for a while because then you don't know what's going on the other end, and you just always assume the worst. And then when you see what's going on, it's either worse than you thought or like it's a surprise what's going on. It's like a total twist. So I like that because I think it creates good buildup for hopefully a good payoff.
Amanda, thank you for the $5 super chat. Not sure if you'd wait till the show ends, but will there ever be another top 11 about The Simpsons, such as top treehouse segments or musical moments?
Maybe it'd have to be something like I was suddenly like really inspired to do. Okay, let's go. I really want to talk about this now. That hasn't really happened in a bit of time, but and it is tough too because some of those treehouse horror ones are still good. That the Death Note one was really, really good.
Yeah, it was.
I can't believe how well that style blended with that humor. So yeah, it'd be. I think it actually might be tougher than I would think to do that.
Jimbit, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hey, Doug, I find myself often revisiting your sibling rivalry series with Rob. Any chance of bringing it back, maybe for Deadpool 3?
They're mainly just kind of vlogs now. Whenever we do it, I think like the first viewings are the ones that people kind of like to see our reactions to. Maybe we'll do more. I don't know. We'll see, because a lot of people do like seeing Rob's reactions to stuff too. It's always, I just never know if people want to wait through a whole video of us talking. You know what I mean? Because we do, we're ramblers, and like that's fine for a podcast, but it's good for a video. I don't know. We might be in that in between time where it kind of is. So we'll see. We'll talk about it.
Amanda, thank you for the $5 super chat. Would you do NC review on Look Who's Talking trilogy?
Probably not. I remember the first one being fine. I think the second one was fine. I never saw the third one, but nothing really interests me much about it.
AOT fan, thank you for the $5 super chat. Do you think Light was right for what he did in Death Note? Do you think L was right for what he did in Death Note?
I never watched it all the way to the end. It's terrible to say. I think I watched the first maybe 4 or 5 episodes, and I really liked it. Just other things got in the way, and I never finished it. And yeah, I probably should, because it's not a long series, right?
It's not terribly long.
Yeah,
no.
there's not a ton of episodes. So I should finish it up.
I was frozen
Axel,
today.
thank you for the $5 super chat. I apologize if someone asked this already, but do you have any interest in seeing Zack Snyder's recent Rebel Moon films?
Probably not, because again, it's on Netflix, and if we review something, we need like a hard copy of it, because otherwise we have to pirate it. And we're not saying people are going to come after us, but if they do, that's very hard to defend. Like, we technically can, but it'd be rough. So yeah, if it comes out on physical media, maybe. But I also don't have that diehard a passion to look at or talk about. But maybe I will, because it is getting a lot of talk.
Mum Raw, thank you for the $5 super chat. Who will be at C2E2? I'm only missing autographs on my CA DVDs from Rob, Farad, Barney, Laura, and Andre. Any chance they'll be there? Have fun this weekend, y'all.
Who was the first one?
Rob. Yeah, Rob will be there.
The others won't.
Yeah, no.
I'm sorry, but Rob will be there.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. In Shrek 2, I like that even though Prince Charming and Fairy Godmother are evil, they genuinely love each other. There are some moments between them that are weirdly kind of sweet. What are your thoughts?
I'd have to watch it again. I guess I don't remember them being mean, but I just remember her being evil and him being a brat. You know what I mean? But I guess I don't remember them being really cruel to each other. So maybe you have a point.
Big Pharma Sports, thank you for the $5 super chat. Would you ever be open to doing a top 10 movie soundtracks, or maybe the importance/impact of movie themes in film?
You know what? I think I did years ago. Like, I think within the first 4 years, something like that, I did a top 11 most, I think, either movie themes or epic themes. I think it was like epic themes. So that might still be on YouTube. Again, like, music does get hit a lot, gets a lot of copyright claims, so maybe it's not, but I don't know. I'm sure it's somewhere on the internet.
Tiff Guy, thank you for the 500 bits. I have the book of the Great Train Robbery. There's a movie of it?
Yes, very famous movie, but not that famous because I haven't seen it.
The Paisano Gamers, thank you for the $10 super chat. Hey Doug, just got done catching up on X-Men 97. Was really nervous when it got announced, but I was overwhelmed with joy. What do you think of the show so far? I think it's the best Disney Plus Marvel show.
I adore it. I'm amazed at how much they're capturing the voice of the original, but they're also evolving it. Like I said, this last one, I think it went from just, man, I'm loving this. It's bringing back the good old days, and there's good twists and surprises, to like it's chilling. Like I'm legit uncomfortable watching it, like in a good way. I'm supposed to be uncomfortable watching a lot of it, and I never thought I would get that from X-Men. And I love X-Men definitely, but I never thought I would get like that feeling. So yeah, I am very impressed with what they've made there.
Tom the Don, thank you for the $10 super chat. Did you watch The Mangler yet? I'll keep asking till I confirm it's going to be an October Stephen King review.
I did. Where was I? I was at the last convention I was at. I was talking to Brad about it. He saw it, and he's like, "Oh yeah, there's material for it," and it looks crazy. It looks like fun. So I think either between that and Wishmaster, because I think that's a Stephen King one. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure I have it on the list, but just in case, I'll write it down again. But I'm like 90% sure that I have it down there, and I definitely want to talk about it. I haven't seen it yet, but I want to talk. I definitely want to review it.
I know, guys. Thank you for the 550 bits. Would you review Home on the Range for its 20th anniversary?
I don't know. I kind of did Disney December of it. That felt like enough. Like it's not good, but I don't know if I'm like passionate to talk about it. The only thing would be just talk about how great Jennifer Tilly is, because she's a treasure. But yeah, that'd probably be about it.
Based, thank you for the $10 super chat. Have you ever considered reviewing Don Bluth's Thumbelina?
It is weird. It is really, really out there. Maybe Titan AE, I think a lot of people want to see me talk about first, so maybe I'll do that. But yeah, I guess I should. I don't know if I've ever seen it all the way through, actually. It was just so odd, and every single time I'd start, I'd be like, this isn't for me. So maybe I should actually sit down and watch all of it.
I would love to watch it again, because I don't know what it was, but I loved that movie when I was a kid.
A lot of kids
loved it when I was a kid.
Yeah, no, there definitely is some sort of like secret language I don't even know if Bluth is aware of that like speaks to like little guys. I think particularly little girls like really connected with it, and yeah, there's just something about it.
Sean, thank you for the $5 super chat. NC for Aquaman, Cruella, or Cinderella 2015. Also Disney-cember / thoughts on Disney nature documentaries. They're really good.
I believe you, but nobody's going to click on that. And I don't really have a passion to talk about. Maybe I'll watch them just on their own, but yeah, I probably won't do a Disney-cember on it. And the others, maybe, I mean, we did an old versus new for Cinderella, so we did kind of review that one, but the others I'll look into.
Hipster Hoovian Jedi, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hey Doug, would you ever consider doing an NC for the Black Hole, especially for its 45th anniversary this year? Also, see you at C2E2 this weekend. Yay!
Yeah, I'll see you there. I did Disney-cember, and again, that was enough. It was a very interesting film to talk about. It's not good, but it is very interesting why it's not good, because there is a lot of good stuff in it.
Exile, thank you for the 500 bits. Will there be a chance you would review Final Fantasy VII Advent Children?
I'll tell you what, after I'm done playing all the games, I will watch it again. Like maybe we can do a watch party or something like that if it's on Amazon or something.
Watch parties don't exist anymore.
Oh no. Yeah. Well, maybe I'll just watch it and film my reaction. Whoa, I get this now. So we'll see.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. You once said that Claus did a good job at the liar reveal story. I agree, because after the lie comes out, the moping around only lasts about a minute.
Yeah, that's the biggie. I don't think it's the lie that's the bad part, because there's so much potential you can do with that. Character is not used to doing this, somebody has to be someone else, comedy ensues and everything. It's when they find out and they take it so seriously, and we all know what's coming, and it's not that dramatic and everything, and that's why you're right. I didn't mind it because it's only for a little bit, and then they're just like, yeah, we know you've seen this, now on to the good stuff, kind of thing. So yeah, I agree.
Sean, thank you for the $5 super chat. Thoughts on the movie Network?
Network is I always confuse that and broadcast news. Let me see. One of them I love. Network I love. it has one of the creepiest moments in any movie, which is man, I don't know. The Without giving away too much, the solution that everybody comes to at the end, sort of in the board meeting. I forget they're in the board meeting or they're just, together in a group, but they just come to it so naturally and so almost without thought that oh, they've done this a lot of times before in the past, and it is just the creepiest thing. But it's also very funny too.
Emerald, thank you for the $10 super chat. Okay, another game. One has to go. South Park, Beavis and Butthead, Simpsons, Daria, Rugrats.
It's funny because I'm like, South Park the game, Beavis and Butthead the game. Oh, like this is a game.
This is the game.
Probably Rugrats. I mean, they're fine, but they don't. I'm never gonna watch them again. The other side would watch again.
Strider for Life, thank you for the $10 super chat. I took a stroll down memory lane today, watching a review of The Wizard and seeing your hilarious comparison of Jimmy and James Rolfe. Nerd!
When that first came out, people were like, is that true? Was he really the kid in The Wizard? Yeah, I don't know. The internet, I was gonna say it was more gullible back then, but I don't know. If you read what's on the internet, that still seems to be a thing.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. Have you ever seen the John Candy show, Camp Candy?
Oh yeah, I grew up with that. It was one of those where
I
it's
was
like,
frozen
I don't know if I could say
today.
it was good, but it was on, like it wasn't something where it's like, this is bad, it's like, no, it was a fine distraction for 24 minutes, you know what I mean?
Joel B, thank you for the 500 bits. In Ghost, what do you think of Whoopi Goldberg in the film? I thought she was hilarious and definitely a well-deserved Oscar win.
I agree. Yeah, I thought she was great.
Taylor, thank you for the $5 super chat. What's your favorite Gendy Tartakovsky series? And if you've seen it, what's your thoughts on Unicorn Warriors Eternal?
I did see it. I really liked it. I wish there was it was very story based. I wish it was maybe a bit more character based, but I really enjoyed it. My favorite series of it, maybe Primal. I just love the visual storytelling of that, but yeah, no, he's crazy talented.
Jace, thank you for the $5 super chat. Considering the Iron Giant got a happy ending because of the studio, I want that satisfying ending for Mansley since we never saw what happened to him.
Well, oh, I see. So he gets shot and he's putting himself together somewhere in the North Pole. I see how it works.
The Paisano Gamers, thank you for the $5 super chat. Who has 2 thumbs and isn't gonna totally be the first in line to see Twisters? Doug Walker.
That is true.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. What was your favorite part of Arkham Asylum?
Definitely not the final boss battle. Man, wasn't that let down?
So disappointing.
I can't believe I didn't believe people when they were like, that was it. I'm like, no, you're kidding. Man, favorite part. I don't know, maybe just the design of like Arkham and Gotham. I know Gotham was kind of in the background, but yeah, I just love that world. I played it Arkham on VR, and I loved just, like I said, being there, looking at Gotham, looking around everywhere. So yeah, that was probably my favorite thing.
JL, thank you for the 1,000 bits. What's your favorite Jaws line?
Like from the movie Jaws?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Jaws from James Bond? Okay. Favorite Jaws line. I don't know, maybe just smile, you son of a bitch. That's a pretty cool line.
Joel B, thank you for the 500 bits. One has to go. Burgers, hot dogs, pizza. Easy hot dogs for me. I don't love hot dogs.
I'll say hot dogs, but I do like hot dogs. It'll be a sad loss.
Benkai, thank you for the $5 super chat. Doug, can you do a review of Batman Under the Red Hood as well as other films from the DEAU?
That one, at the very least, I'll see again because I remember seeing it and liking it, but I don't think I quite loved it like everyone else did. So I'm wondering if I missed something. And maybe like I was working on something else while it was on. I missed like the best part or something like that. So I do have to watch it again. I don't know how much of the others I'll do. I know there's a lot of good ones, but again, they just don't grab me that much. But that one I want to see again because everyone has said like that's like the best animated Batman thing ever. So I gotta check it out again.
Joel B, thank you for the 500 bits. Even though we all know that he isn't a great guy, what do you think of Kevin Spacey as an actor?
I like him in comedies. I never got into him in drama. it always felt like an act. It felt like a performance. I never really saw like the person he's playing, whether it's Seven or American Beauty or any of that. I just never ever saw it as like, yes, I'm seeing this unique person right now. No, I see Kevin Spacey acting. But when he does that with comedy, that's fine. I think he can use that to his advantage. But yeah, I never got into the dramatic stuff much.
Taylor, thank you for the $20 super chat. Hey, Doug, wanted to ask, have you heard of the YouTube channel The Real Jims? He does a lot of retrospective and character dives into the characters of The Simpsons, no matter how small. I think you'd like his work.
Okay.
That sounds cool.
Yeah, I'll try to check it out.
Elite, thank you for the 500 bits. Really appreciate that. Hello, Heather and Doug. I hope you both are doing well. Doug, after today's video, I just have one thing to say. I truly hope your brain fog goes away soon. You and the Channel Awesome crew always have such a beacon of joy in my life, so I only hope the best for you all. Oh, and bat credit card.
Ah! The past week's been pretty good. I haven't felt it that much. I think like a week from last Tuesday, I got it really bad, but since then it's been pretty good. And I am seeing, you know, a specialist on it, and I still don't have answers yet. I might be in it for the long haul, but that, even knowing that is helpful. I can plan around it. So, you know, I'll be okay.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. The only character I didn't like in Parks and Rec was Mark. He was so bland and I didn't miss him after he left. What do you think of him?
Let me,
I'm spaced out on who that is too.
Yeah. I guess I'm with you because I don't remember this dude at all. Yeah, I just straight up don't remember him. So I guess I agree.
Gil, thank you for the $5 through Streamlabs. Are you going to review some disaster movies like Dante's Peak, Volcano, Deep Impact, Armageddon, and The Day After Tomorrow?
You know, I just didn't get into those movies at all, and I hated that was the trend for a while because they just never looked real. They looked so fake, and the characters were so boring, and they weren't exciting, and I'm just like, I have no interest whatsoever. The closest was Twister, because that was kind of enjoyably bad. But yeah, the others, I'm like, oh, these are so boring.
We might have to pick it up just a bit here.
Bit. Gotcha.
The Amazing Web Hand, thank you for the $5 super chat. For Godzilla's 70th anniversary this year, can you do an NC episode reviewing all the MonsterVerse films?
Maybe. Yeah, I mean, I guess they're all kind of out. I'm sure there's going to be more, but that might be an idea.
Master Tiebreaker, thank you for the 500 bits. Hey, Doug, remember in your video questioning the Hollywood rating system when you asked whether Disney would make an R-rated movie complete with a Deadpool mouse picture? Well, let me ask you, how does it feel to be gifted with foresight from Apollo, and will this power go to your head?
I mean, it is technically Fox, but it's pretty much Disney. Yeah, and I will be a benevolent ruler. I can't say the word, but I can be the word.
Joel B, thank you for the 500 bits. Have you watched The Warriors yet? If not, please do, Doug. It's right up your alley.
Not yet. I want to. I know I got to work on my 80s awareness for that.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. Have you seen the movie The Ref? It's a movie where a burglar takes a dysfunctional family hostage and ends up helping them with their problems. It's funny, and there's some parts that are surprisingly kind of sweet.
No, somebody brought that up before, and I really wanted to see it as a kid, but, you know, it's rated R, and then I completely forgot about it until somebody brought it up again. I'm like, oh yeah, was that good? So I might see it this Christmas.
JL, thank you for the 1,000 bits. Thoughts on who should play Rogue next since X-Men is getting rebooted?
I'm all for newcomers, honestly, for the X-Men. I want people I don't know whatsoever. Maybe they're in one or two roles. Because I like to start completely fresh with them.
OBS, thank you for the $20 super chat. I just watched the Land Before Time episode, and 1, it was a beautiful video, and 2, super glad to hear you doing better. Also, any chance of a more comedic review of one of the lesser MCU movies like Ant-Man 3?
Maybe? I've always wanted to do something where I watch The Eternals and I try to go through it. I find it really funny because everyone else found it boring and I found it hilarious. So maybe one of these days I'll do that.
Multi, thank you for the $5 super chat. Can you review the 5 Daniel Craig James Bond films? He also did voice work for a video game called Bloodstone in between his first and second ones.
I guess it's a little bit more of a Brad Jones thing. He's kind of the big James Bond guy. I like them. I thought they were good. I don't have a passion for the franchise, but I do like them.
Kirok, thank you for the $5 super chat. Doug and Heather, this is a question you two might not be able to answer, but do either of you know Walter's plans for continuing the Twilight series?
Oh, Twilight, Tober Zone.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, you mean like after this
Yeah.
year? I don't No, I know he's definitely finishing up this year, but I don't know after that.
Alexander, thank you for the 500 bits. Another scene from Leo that made me laugh was the girl who talks so much, even the characters on TV fall asleep. Rose getting so bored that she falls off the front of the Titanic was pretty hilarious visual.
Yeah, I agree. I like they can mess with reality a little bit. They're not like super bound to one way of doing stuff.
JL, thank you for the 1,000 bits. Do a reaction of The Land Before Time.
Um, that's my reaction.
Kyle, thank you for the $8 super chat. Hey, Doug, love the reviews. Would you be interested in hiring a video editor?
Not yet. We do have people that do like other work and stuff like that, but for my own stuff, I'm a control freak. I like having control over that.
Sailor Aaron, thank you for the 500 bits. I have a highlighted message, but I don't know what I'll have to do, but I hope you do cover the 3 shows I mentioned in the message. Yes, there are other animes I love that also came with that program, but these 3 are the top 5 favorite animes of all time. Basically, just had a highlighted message saying, when you do Toonami, can you cover Full Metal Alchemist, Cowboy Bebop, and Blood Plus?
Gotcha. Well, we already did Toonami, so
or not Toonami,
unless they mean
sorry.
Adult Swim.
Adult Swim. That's what I misspoke.
Definitely Full Metal Alchemist, because I've seen that one. The others, I'll have to see if people have seen it.
Oh, JL meant a live reaction, like with the group, a group reaction to The Land Before Time kind of a thing.
Oh, I don't know how many people would be into that, but we'll see.
Shouting Joker, thank you for the $5 super chat. This might be a dumb question, but do you think Barbie is a better chick flick than Mamma Mia will ever dream of being?
Yeah. There's ideas, there's comedy, there's heart, yes, obviously. It's a good movie just in general,
Emerald, thank you for the $10 super chat. I'm listening to this live stream in my living room and my mom says you have a whiny voice. I disagree. You have the voice of a god.
How can they say that? Why does it look like Vegas? No, I have a very whiny voice. Come on. Who are we kidding?
Frank, thank you for the $10 super chat. Are there any movies that you want to cover on NC but can't for whatever reason? Be it not YouTube safe or not available on physical. One I like is Barbarian.
Today.
Yeah, there's a couple I was listing, like House of a Thousand Corpses, the Indiana Jones movies. So yeah, there's a couple.
JL, thank you for the 1,000 bits. Watch the South Park pandemic special. It's really messed up.
Yeah, I remember watching that. That's a good way of describing it.
Leprechaun Farmer, thank you for the $5 super chat. Do you think you'd ever be brave enough to do a Seltzberg month? Seltzerberg month?
How do you spell it?
Seltzerberg. Seltzerberg?
Oh, like the parody movies. Okay. I don't know if I got the stomach for it. Maybe I'll do one of the movies. I should do one of them.
Tina, thank you for the $2 super chat. Tristan, thank you for the $5 super chat. Are you going to review some disaster movie like Dane's Peak, Volcano, Deep Impact, Armageddon, and The Day After Tomorrow?
It's a repeat. Yeah, probably not.
The Weston, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hey, Doug, very curious or familiar with the band I Fight Dragons. They're a nerdy Chicago-based indie band that mixes rock with chiptune. That sounds very familiar.
Yeah, I Fight Dragons. Is that what it was?
Mm-hmm.
Man, yeah. Why do I know this group? I know this group. I don't know why. If I did, I remember them being good.
Joel B, thank you for the 500 bits. Favorite Smithers moment?
I don't know. The first time they make it clear that he has a thing for Mr. Burns flying through the window, I thought that was pretty funny.
Tina, thank you for the $5 super chat. Doug, have you seen the Dark Crystal, the movie or the Netflix series, sorry, which was criminally canceled? Also, have you heard of My Hero Academia?
I've heard of My Hero. I haven't seen it. I've seen the Dark Crystal movie. I thought it was a little dull, but I love the puppetry. And then I saw a little bit of the show, which I love, but I haven't finished yet.
Jamie, thank you for the $5 super chat. I noticed recent uploads will have a thumbnail, and after a few days, the thumbnail is changed. I was just curious what happens. Keep up the great work.
It's the algorithm for whatever reason that gets it back in there if a video is not performing well, or even if it is, just when the numbers start to go down, some recent change in the thumbnail helps it.
Taylor, thank you for the $5 super chat. Do you think you do an NC video on the 1998 Breakfast Club meets Invasion of the Body Snatchers-esque film, The
Oh, that's a fun combo. Maybe.
Internatube, thank you for the $10 super chat. Hey Doug, given how badly the last Indiana Jones film flopped and how Star Wars can't seem to get a film off the ground, how would you fix Lucasfilm if you were in charge of the studio?
I don't know. I get some new stuff going. It doesn't always have to be Star Wars or Indiana Jones. Like they used to make some really good games back in the day. They were like original titles and they were good. Get some original stuff.
Taylor, thank you for the $10 super chat. Which franchise fell off the rails harder, The Land Before Time or the Ice Age series?
I'm just assuming Land Before Time because they have like 14 movies.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah, they can't be good after that. Ice Age at least stopped at 5?
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. What do you think was Kevin Conroy's best moment in Batman the Animated Series?
Man, boy, I don't know. It's such a good question. There's so many good ones. I'm legit blanking. I like the one where he's really happy in was it Perchance to Dream? When the way he played that whole thing, like trying to convince himself to be happy. Same thing in Mask of the Phantasm. I love it when he's almost asking his parents, can he be happy? The grave of his parents. That is like chilling.
Strider for Life, thank you for the $5 super chat. Seeing you guys tonight has brightened my evening since my aunt passed away recently.
Oh,
I'm so
sorry.
but
Yeah.
I'm glad that we can help brighten your day just a little bit.
Yeah, all our best to you.
Multi, thank you for the $5 super chat. Please review and do a first-time viewing with Rob for Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. Please!
Maybe. We'll probably do Bram Stoker's Dracula first, because that's a fun movie to talk about. But yeah, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein is definitely bad.
Kid Infamous, thank you for that 2-month subscription over on Twitch. Welcome back. Appreciate it. And they just said, I made it! Woo-woo! Welcome. Welcome. You made it just in time for us to start getting things wrapped up, because it is almost 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
We did. That was the final thing on the list, though. So talk about perfect timing. It's almost like I'm an expert.
You are good, man. I don't know how you do it, man. I would get so many things wrong.
Well, awesome. Thank you all so much for joining us here today. As usual, we super duper appreciate it. If you are over on YouTube, keep in mind we have content on our Twitch 5 days a week. So come on, head over at twitch.tv/channelawesome, where we have things like Doug playing video games and the rest of the crew playing video games. Just last night, we did a Family Feud style game where chat filled out the survey and they tried to guess the answers. It was very fun. It worked out well. Also, in case it hasn't been made abundantly clear throughout the stream tonight, we're going to be at C2E2 this weekend. So if you're in the Chicagoland area and want to come over to C2E2, it's a fantastic convention, and we'll be there at our booth is SP2. So come check us out and meet us there. We on Twitch are going to go over to raid on Tamara's channel. So if you're on Twitch, we're going to be sending you over there. I hope you all have a wonderful evening, and we will see you all next week or another time soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.